I'll be honest, I did believe someone was going to get backshots this chapter. But let's just say it did not go exactly as I planned. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact, this chapter is pretty peak. It's like, and then this is gonna sound crazy, especially as a guy who's been. But then again, I think my opinions on Kion have been ever inconsistent for a reason. Like, this is one of Nakaba's most polarizing characters, and honestly, my own opinions on one of Nakaba's most polarizing characters have been just that, polarizing. But for a chapter that is essentially entirely focused on Team Tristan and a possible snake in their boots, legitimately, this was some P all around. All around. This is a real solid chapter. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. We have chapter 178, Tantris versus Kion. Now, I do want to discuss this cover page a little bit. I do wonder when it takes place, if it took place at all. I know not all the cover pages are canon, like clearly not a lot of them aren't. But this does seem like an event that could have been in the possible early Camelot days, when they were first all in there. Kion looks happy still. Tristan looks nervous yet happy. Isolde is happy. There's a snake in their boots. But also, Jade is here. Of course, this isn't matching their outfits. These are completely different outfits from what they're usually seen in, even at the start of the Camelot flashback. So I'm assuming this is just a random event that's meant to signify the bond of Team Tristan, which this chapter is entirely about. But the snake. Thank you to everyone who pointed out last week that the snake is very likely the fake Isolde. The fake Isolde. And it works because it wouldn't be the first time that Nakaba has had a snake shapeshift into a human. Or a humanoid visage, if you will. Not specifically to fake anybody out. If you'll remember, well, I feel like everyone knows, Malascula. She was a demon world snake, literally the most basic of basics. Remember, by the end of the series, she was stored in a tiny test tube. That's how small her original form was. So, hypothetically, a snake here being associated with Isolde in particular, I wouldn't be shocked. If the miasma of the demon world was more than enough to fuel up and girth up Malascula to the point where she became this gigantic miasmic snake of extreme destruction and disorder, because she was in the demon world absorbing demon world miasma, which is dark, malicious, negative energy, I wouldn't be shocked if hypothetically a snake that they encountered along the way, or a snake in Onfuin absorbing a whole bunch of chaos energy, which under the pretenses of Camelot is very specifically meant to fulfill the dreams of those involved, took on the form of Isolde, Tristan's true love, and then ended up gaslight girl boss and gatekeeping him the best it could. The only thing that doesn't explain is why it's sick, but then again, that could all be an act. We don't know. And while the fake Isolde go on later in the chapter to seem very genuine, I don't buy it. And plus, Tristan's into tall women. He's just like me, for real, for real. But let's not waste any more time. And let's hop. Oh, well, once again, I do want to. One thing I do like. I do like that it's implied here. At least, if this may be soft foreshadowing. Now that I look at it, though, Nakaba forgot to draw the stick here for the connecting piece here. Like, now it looks like the stick is kind of just floating. But I do like the implication here that Isolde, since she's the one who has speared the snake, as it were, it's implied that she's going to be the one to either expose, or possibly, considering the nature of this chapter and how bloodthirsty these two are going to be revealed to be, she may just be the one responsible for, let's just say, removing the snake fake Isolde out of the narrative. Maybe taking her life. But let's hop right into chapter 178, Tantris versus Kion. So we open up and we see Tantris and Kion standing opposed. Kion already has his weapon drawn, he has his Pokeballs in hand, and Tantris is walking up, drawing out the dual blaze, thinking he's him. And as we'll see, he may in fact be just a little bit Timothy. And Capital Knee starts spitting bars, spitting beams, spitting bands, as he says, "Now, for the third match in Block B, Tantris versus Kion." And we see that the fake snake eyes, and you know what? Ironically enough, that I now that y'all point that out to me, I'm like seeing all the different parallels, and like little writing things. But then again, it's just your boy yapping a whole bunch and probably seeing things that aren't there. What is she wearing? A cloak, a snake skin. So once that's peeled away and the truth is revealed, I don't know, because I think of like snakes and how they shed their skin and stuff like that. So who knows? Nakaba may just be cooking. He may just be cooking. But with it being the case, we see the fake snake say, "Tantris, you've got to win this for us, for me, Tantris. Nothing else matters but me. You don't have a dad. You don't have a mom. You want to have a world to save. I am your... Okay, let me stop. But we see that Anne and Isolde both notice the fake. And Anne admittedly disappoints me a little bit, because she says, is that the other Isolde? And of course, a real Isolde says, yes. But you know what? Anne, you're disqualified from the tournament anyway. If you truly were a real homie, you would take your little Mirage rapier, or whatever it's called, the sword that doesn't do anything. The sword she already needs a new sacred treasure, even though she just got it. The sword that's gonna get crept immediately. I know y'all like, Pencil, give it time. She had to lose the Yoda for plot. I know, but the Mirage blade or whatever, it's trash. It's garbage and it's stupid. And 9 out of 10 characters will not fall for it. I promise you, like, if Anne ever does anything effective with that, it's because she's fighting fodder. But with it being the case, she should have taken that little Mirage rapier and just enjoying and taking care of that Isolde. Catch a body, Anne. You've caught bodies before, or at least attempted to. Catch a body, Anne. You might as well. Clearly something's up. Who knows? The thing is, especially with how this chapter goes, that may actually be the binding seal. Once again, we have little to no context for how Tantris became Tantris from Tristan. It literally could be that that Arthur or Beltreat or somebody did notice Tristan in Onfund being like, whoa, we got one of the four knights, son of Meliodas and Elizabeth. And I was like, let's set up a binding spell on him, specifically, boom, and then we'll tie it to this girl who's very frail, who's going to want to protect based on the binding spell. Like, it's not impossible. It's not impossible that ultimately the only way to free Tantris from being Tantris is to off the fake Isolde. Which is why the hypothetical implication of Isolde being the one to do it is all the more thematically satisfying, because she'd literally be slave the fake and restoring her boyf. But all that being the case, we see Tristan draw both blades, or Tantris draw both blades, and Kion throw out his Pokeballs. But very specifically, I want to bring this up again, and I know y'all are sick and tired of me bringing it up. How do they not notice Dragon Handle? Like, I know you can very clearly see Nakaba is very good at the details here. He did not forget to draw the little rings that Gawain clipped on to Tristan's hair, in order to make sure that he doesn't get noticed by Camelot anytime they start to think too much about him in a hostile way. It gets redirected. We literally see Beltreat get gaslit immediately effectively by the rings and their ability. But the Coffin of Eternal Darkness isn't a person. It's an object that a person is holding. And like, that's the last piece to them sealing away their biggest threat. And you're telling me they didn't notice? Beltreat, you don't have any sightlines on that bad boy? Like, it's clear this is the Coffin of Eternal Darkness. Then again, maybe they don't know. But I'm assuming Beltreat, one of the four evils, one of the highest ranking people in Camelot, would probably recognize the Coffin of Eternal Darkness, which is so crazy that he hasn't. But, of course, with the Pokeballs thrown out, all different sizes and shapes. He's got the Hydro Ball, he's got the Spike Ball, he's got the Heavy Ball, and he's got the Premier Ball. He throws them all out. And Tristan, or I keep saying Tristan, my bad. By the time I get used to saying Tantris, he's going to be Tristan again. But we see Tantris pull back and go crazy. He starts hitting that spin jutsu. He turns into one of the Lego Ninjago. And we see Kion respond in kind by the... He hits that staff rotation. That man got motion as he proceeds to get to summoning. He hits the Tifos, Vivano, Botseca, Javone. And he summons 4 spirits at once. Now, I'll admit, this is just base Tristan. And base Tristan, he doesn't... How do I put this nicely for all the Tristan fans out there? He doesn't have the best scaling. Let's put that to base Tristan. He doesn't have the best scaling, I'll readily admit. But still, for the biologically half demon, spiritually quarter goddess and part human being who's the son of the strongest goddess and the strongest demon to ever exist, it is very impressive that Kion's able to block his attacks at all. Very impressive that he's able to hit the spin cycle himself and block them. But of course, we see Kion is not necessarily an up-close fighter fully. He's a summoner. Like I said, he threw out them Pokeballs. And the Pokemon answer the call their master. If I wasn't afraid of it getting coverage, I'd play the Pokemon sound right now. But we see they all pop out. And Tantris turns. But speaking of which, as a fella who's been hitting the gym himself, trying to get his gains up, as a fellow who's been trying to get nice and lean and machine green, tell me why Tristan, or Tantris, has gotten real swole. One of my biggest complaints about Tantris is that he was built a little bit too much like his mama. AKA, I didn't believe that the man trained at all. But look at that 2-year time skip. I'm not sure what kind of protein they got up in Onfund, but that man's shoulders are popping. Even his biceps, his triceps, man, Tristan got beefy. Is he as beefy as his dad? Possibly. Like he's real lean cut right now. I think the only reason Meliodas would look beefier is because he's shorter. But Tristan, he got his gains up, gosh darn it. His legs, they need a little bit of work. But then again, they're in a bodysuit and boots. So who knows? Maybe even his legs are strapped up. That man is looking beefy. But we see that Tantris drops an interesting line here. I've seen those. Elemental magic, right? Now, question. Tantris, where'd you see those? Huh? If you truly are Tantris and you have no idea who these individuals are, where'd you see those, buddy? Huh? How could you have seen them if you're Tantris? Let me know. I'm a little confused. I'm a little bamboozled. I'm a little beguiled. How could you have seen these before? Unless this is meant to imply that they have fought in the past. But considering what seems to go on here, I highly doubt that they have. So, what, was it just a little showing of the one Earth Golem Kion used in the free-for-all yesterday? I don't know, Tantris. Seems a little contradictory to Mr. I don't know who you are. But, of course, we see that Tantris is like, you want to use them to teach me a lesson? Do you think I'm fodder? And we see Kion say, I'm sorry. You're a smart man, Tantris. Yes, you're going to die here. Whoa! 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 Whoa, wait a minute. Yeah. Wait a minute. Whoa! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa! Wait! They don't love you like I love you. Wait! They don't love you like... They don't love you like I love you. Wait! That is crazy. That is crazy. Like in the live reaction, we should check it over on Patreon for those $1 a month. You can remember for those $3 a month. It's about 20 minutes long. In the live reaction, I'm a little bit blown away because seeing Kion of all characters be like, I'm going to murder you. Whoa! Wow! I was not ready for the level of determination. Of course, last chapter specifically ended off with a flip of kind of like, I can't go fight my glorious, amazing, scrumptious, I'm just juicy, thick, girthy, long, huge dong, daddy, king, Tristan, I just can't do it. But, clearly that flipped. But I was not thinking it flipped this hard. He went straight to murder. And we see that he's moving crazy. As he says, use thy powers to capture this man. He's a pretty clean pose, too. He's I see it. But we see, I'm not sure what any of these things' names are, but the fire spirit, specifically the one that, in fact, I'll give them each of their credit as we see them all in action. The fire spirit, if you'll remember, the one in Walnock that absorbed all the fires from Walnock's festival in order to murder, and toast alive Macduff, gets used here. But once again, he's like a summoner. He got them all because he uses the roaring fire spirit to sending Tristan up into the air. Only to use the tornado spirit, which you may remember most notoriously for nearly choking out and murdering the Percival platoon. Once again, kind of real murder focus. And then we see that slam him into the ground. And then we have the Earth Golem. And I believe the Earth Golem erected the wall in the free-for-all yesterday, but I think it also had another purpose that I cannot remember off the top of my dome piece. But that's the thing. He went for the multi-layered setup because the Earth Golem locks Tantris's that was about to be an appropriate sentence. Locks Tantris's very buff arms down in order for him to get choked out by the water spirit. Now, the water spirit, I don't remember what it did. I know we've seen the design before. I know we've seen it pop out. Very specifically, I remember it popping out in the Demon World arc. Like, they all popped out like, hey, boss, we're in trouble. But I don't remember it actually doing anything, unless it did he use this to try to choke out the Percy platoon too? I really don't remember. But of course he tries to drown Tristan or Tantris in that, and Tristan, and gosh darn it, and Tantris goes, and as the fire spirit chirps, Kion resummons it, and then we see that Donnie's like, whoa, Kion's not holding back. I didn't think he had that dog in him. And even Nastin's like, you're right, Donnie. For once in your miserable, short, idiotic life, I can hardly believe it. Against Prince Tristan, too? That's absurd, which is definitely crazy coming from Kion. Is it fair to call him? Yeah. There is no greater meat rider in this series than Kion. For Tristan in particular. There may be other meat riders, quite literally. But, like, no one hops on Tristan's meat like Kion does. And we see that Isolde gives a little hint at a certain plan, and she says, I'm afraid it's the only way. Which is, darn? Wow. Crazy. But then again, We don't know how many interactions they've had, and it looks like all interactions were going violent. And even Gawain, who's usually, let's be frank, who's usually a little bit freaky around Isolde, actually is locked into her despair and concern here as she goes, Isolde? And then we see that Kion's like, Pillar of Flame! Spread it! And we see that this spell does cast and burn Tristan, Tantris, alive. And also, I wonder what happened to the water spirit. Like, he was still drowning by the time the flame spirit hits. Like, did the fire spirit, Pillar of Flame, like, murder the water spirit, or was it just descending back into its Pokeball and Kion still has access to it? Because being able to instantly choke somebody out is nice. Oh, he didn't accidentally vaporize it. But with it being the case, we see that Caberoni declares, Tantris is enveloped in fire. And of course, we see Snakesoul say, no, stop! You're going to kill Tantris. Which is, just say it's more apt than I thought it was going to be. Way more apt. But still, I'm very interested in what role they're going to play. Especially considering you can see that these two are usually being juxtaposed. Obviously because this one is a fake version of this one, but still, very interesting. And ultimately, we see that Tantris says, you think this much would suffice? As he immediately turns on them goddess eyes and gets the healing. And obviously, well, I'll let Gawain say something that's going to make me freaking geek a little bit, so let's do this. He has both the magic resistance of the demon clan and the healing force of the goddess clan. Low-rate elementals can't expect to damage him. Let me read that one more time. Specific part that's going to make me freak, geek, and stand up and hit the weight. Let's see. He has both the magic resistance of the demon clan. When was that a thing? When was that? And you know, I've been wrong in missed details before. I think I very specifically thank everyone in the comments who's ever corrected me of the many times I've been wrong. But of all the things I remember the demons having, and they have a lot of things, like, hold on. Of all the things I remember the demons having, magic resistance was not one of them. Like, am I tweaking? Do I not? Like, I know they're extremely powerful and durable. And my brain immediately did do a hop, a leap, a skip, and a jump to Cusack and Chandler. But I thought that was just because their stats were high. And of course, you know, Tristan, likely, despite only being a half-demon, since he's a child of the oldest, not the oldest, because the Demon King. But then again, does the Demon King count as a demon? I don't know, sure. But regardless, as probably the strongest demon in history, maybe if you want to argue that Chandler and Cusack's magic resistance was just due to them being the highest of high-level demons, then obviously Tantris would likely have that too. But still, just dropping that they had magic resistance is crazy. Like, the demons just get everything. They have regen, they have malleable darkness, they have the ability to resist their natural enemy in terms of light, they have the Hellblades, which can scar mortals, they have soul stealing, they have soul erasure through consumption, they have legit, what does the, and remember, Gawain doesn't say, oh, because he's a high-level demon. She didn't say, oh, because he's the son of Meliodas. She didn't say anything. She says, he just has the demon clan just has magic resistance. News to me? News to Gawain. I've been likely reading and reviewing and talking about sevendeadlysins since before you were conceptualized. And I didn't know that. So Nakaba just keeps consistently buffing the demons, bro. And like, hey, don't get me wrong. All this does is fuel the Prime Meliodas versus Prime Mael argument that has been an argument since forever. Mael fans. But with that being the case, that's crazy to just drop on us. That, oh, yeah, demons just have magic resistance. So, and if anything, that makes I think ultimately the ruler and the Demon King's power are both still fantastic magics. Like inversion and the ability to neutralize all magic is still good. Because magic resistance isn't magic immunity, and obviously resistance is unquantifiable. Like, what does that even mean? But still, crazy that they have that. I guess you could say it's implied sometimes with how they face things stuff, but I also thought that was just their raw stats, not actual just magic resistance. But we see that Kion is starting to sweat a little bit. Now, whether or not this sweat is coming from the feelings of conflict he has about harming his beautiful, glorious, scrumdiddlyumptious, thick, girthy, juicy king Tristan is unknown, or if it's that, or he's actually burning a whole bunch of magic summoning all these things. I don't actually know how the summoning process works. And I don't think Nakaba does either. Well, no, I'm kidding. Nakaba probably does. But, like, I'm not sure if it's like a time limit thing where the longer the summon is out, the more and more of Kion's magic force it drains, or if it's like a one-time cost where he summons and the summons stick around, or if each summon has a set magic cost to summon and then a set cost to maintain. And obviously the more summons he maintains and uses and more spells he uses, it drains his magic for. I don't know. The summoning system is unique and interesting, and I'm glad that Ironside is a summoner, and we're obviously have a much more powerful summoning Kion, as we'll soon see. But still, it's interesting. As we see, Kion hits the Tamuna, blah, 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 and suddenly the earth bursts beneath the goddess side Tantris, who gets sent flying, but does flip into the recovery. And we see him recognize, is that? And the earth lunges again to crush him, but he dodges. And Kion declares, I'm just getting started, of course. And we see two big old beasts. Look at this! Wait. A pair of gigantic golems has greeted us. Gargantuan thicky. Okay, I'll admit. Does this guy have the cooler, more rugged, and more locked-in design? Yes. Peep the jawline. It's immaculate. I love the hand detailing and all that. But I gotta admit, I love my little Chugster, bro. He's so adorable. He's so adorable. And considering what he is, or at least his reference to, it's crazy that he's so adorable. But he's so adorable. Look at him. Look at him. He's like a chunky Albion with no eyes. He's like a chunky little legless Albion with no eyes. I think it's adorable. It's so cute. He's so cute. He's so fat and chunky. I love him. But aside from my love from the thicky boys, a pair of gigantic golems has in fact appeared according to Capital Knee, and we see that Donnie's like, whoa! Wait! What are those monsters? And Percy is also happy to say, Yowza! Gog-Magog, the high-end earth elementals. Interesting. I'm not sure if the Gog-Magog is like a dash, as in one is Gog and the other is Magog. But regardless, golly, high-end earth elementals. So high-end implies there are still other elementals of higher rank, but still, the fact that Kion got this strong in 2 years is kind of crazy. But the other thing... What was I thinking? No, brain, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong to think I'd review without you. Brain, come back. Oh wait, high-end earth elementals. Oh, that's the thing I remembered. I checked the Reddit after the live reaction, and someone pointed out, I just thought Percy was happy here because he was like, oh, cool thing, cool. But elementals can also apparently be translated as spirits. So the reason Percy may be so happy is because he's seeing other types of his kin. Like other life spirits, or other elementals or spirits or anything. He's like, oh, my people! They're here! And they're big. And they're thick. And they're juicy. But we see Gog-Magog, or whichever one it is, slam down on Tristan. But of course, Tristan or Tantris dodges it, then leaps up over the fist that swerves around to get it. But then the fist loops back around. Like, ultimately, Chasing Stone Hammer exists to limit pretty much all of Tristan's options and consistently keep pressure on with the ever-shifting and mutating earth. But of course, Tantris is doing a good job of dodging until he gets smacked straight on down to the ground by the other arm. And, well, let's just say it's backshot time. As we see Tristan heal himself off with the goddess magic, lunge in and declare, it's over now! And of course, whenever an anime character declares it's over now, expect 5 more chapters. As we see Tristan, for some reason, and I'll admit, what do I chalk this up to? Am I in a generous mood? And I am a critiquing Tristan mood? What do I chalk this up in? What do I chalk this up to? That's the real question. That's the real question. Because wait, they don't love you like I love you, Tristan. Wait! And I don't even really love you, Tristan. I'm sorry. I don't know why I've gotten so obsessed with that trend. Especially considering it's over, but like, it's just funny to me, like, straight up. I don't even feel, like, I don't get the reference of the dance, but I'm just like, I even hit this in like random times in life. Sometimes randomly, like, and it was bad. I did it at work by reflex accident. My boss was going to do something. I was like, wait! That they can't help you like I help you. But that aside, why did he go into base? Why did he go into base? Like, somebody, like, he does this. He does this as Tristan too. He just goes into base. I want to chalk this and this and this and even, where is it? Even this. I want to chalk all this up to Nakaba just forgetting, because he's one guy, and obviously Tristan has like a million different forms. He has the one goddess eye, the two goddess eye, the Nephilim eye, the darkness eye, the semi-darkness eye, the darkness... Like, Tristan is one of the probably the most annoying characters to draw for and keep control over, because, like, literally, he has a billion different forms. But it's weird. It's even in a part 1, when he's Tristan, where he'll just, like, randomly drop down a form. Or, typically, go to base. That's typically when he loses all of his fights. As I said earlier, base Tristan doesn't really have too much scaling, and Goddess Tristan really ain't much better. The only times that Tristan has taken solid real-life dubs, like meaty, juicy, thick, girthy dubs by himself, was Demon Mark. Straight Demon Mark. That's it. Even the Nephilim form that he ended up using against the Testament Beast, that was with help from Gawain. Though admittedly, that was still his Demon Mark powers fueling his goddess powers and acting as the catalyst for the annihilation. So, like, ultimately, I don't know why he goes back to base when he was already in a form that he doesn't win in. I don't know. But admittedly, I do think the cross slash he does is really, really cool. And I love how my thick, juicy, glorious, chunky boy is like, you said it was over? It's not over till the fat lady sings, and I ain't singing. As Magog blocks the hit for Kion. Seemingly enough, on his own will, like, it looks like he raises Magog here, or at least this portion of it to block. And notably, it looks like it burps, instantly heals the damage, and then drops Tristan into the ground. Hey Tristan, buddy, you know you can do? You know what you can do, pal? Tantris? Since maybe you forgot. You can fly! If you had your goddess wings activated. Huh? But like, why? He should have ended up in this scenario. As we see, he's trapped in quicksand, and real quicksand too, as it is slurping him down. And we get the craziest bar of a name for a random spell: Raging Sands of the Underworld. Look at my thick, juicy, glorious, scrumptious, yumptious, hefty boy casting this thing. He looks mad. He's gritting them chunky little teeth with them chunky little cheeks as he banishes Tristan to the depths. And we see that Gawain drops lore. Magog's sandstorm pushes the target to the center of the whirl. Once it catches you, escape is tough. You're fully blocked. Which is interesting that Gawain says that, because she can teleport out, presumably. And Tristan could presumably fly out if he wanted to, but he just doesn't here. I don't know why. And he looks around, still in base, by the way, which is why I'm thinking it's probably just a Nagaba oversight. I think. But it's so consistent. He's so consistently in base. If it was more like an inconsistency, you'd think he'd be like flickering goddess eyes on and off. But no, it looks like he's still in base. And we see as he's shocked, the fake Isold yells, Tantris! As the real Isold yells, Kion! And we see that Kion heard my claim of someone getting back shots and said, call an ambulance! But not for me! Darn! Darn! That's crazy. If you were to ask me what was on my bucket list, Tantris backshots were not on. I was genuinely expecting Kion to end up on the end of one of Tantris' swords. I was literally expecting Kion to get backshots. But no. Tantris got hit with Shrike's Sacrifice straight through the back. And Kion specifically commands, Go Magog, time to finish this! And of course, just as when Tristan said, it's over earlier, saying it's time to finish this doesn't mean it's going to be over. But this does raise a question. How many hearts do you think Tristan has? Because let's quickly review his biology. His mother is a human with a goddess soul. And then his father is a pure-blooded demon. High-level demon. High-level demons have 7 hearts. Humans, and seemingly goddesses, have 1 heart. So do you think Tristan ended up in a simple 1-heart situation? Do you think he has all 7? Because he's mostly biologically demon? Like, if you think Tristan is 1/2 demon, 1/4 goddess, 1/4 human, or 1/2 demon, part soul, part goddess, and then part human, I think ultimately the demon side would win. So I'm assuming he probably at least has 3. Or 3 or 4 hearts, and then he may have more. So ultimately, one strike sacrifice. So it's crazy to see him get backshots like this. It probably is like the least effective way to execute him, especially considering where Kion aims is actually nowhere near the heart is. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But Tristan does get speared. The backshots do go crazy. And we see that Capital Knee admits, Kion's elemental skills have scored Tantris. Oh, I completely forgot. Maybe that's why Kion's able to do so well. Even though he only has one glove, he still does have that McDuff glove. So maybe that explains why he's able to do... Ooh, these do look like two gloved hands, though. So maybe one glove is normal, and then the other glove is the 10 times amp glove. That may explain why he's able to, like, physically combat Tristan at all. But still, all that being the case, he does go for the backshot here. And he gets it. And the fake ISO goes... and passes out right into Edlin's lap, which is a little bit rough, considering she's probably a snake. But then again, I know many people who want Melascula to gobble them down. I've seen the comments. I've seen the fan art. Y'all ain't slick. Y'all need to be more discreet. But with it being the case, we see Edlin ask, "Whoa, are you okay?" And naturally asks, "Kion, are you trying to kill him?" Which, it's a nice sentiment, but it's Tantris. And also, his name is on the manga. Technically, not really. He's one of the group. His name is on the manga. And he doesn't have any younger siblings. And it's only one hit, possibly to a vital organ. That'll be fine. And we see that Kion admits, "How could I not? But if it is Prince Tristan, that still isn't going to be enough." Which is true, right? Like, they understand Tristan's survivability, which I do like. I like that they all know, like, no. Tristan, he's beefy. He may be a little soft boy, but he's very, very beefy, and them respecting that is cool. But we see we have to go back in time, and Kion says, "You want me to kill Prince Tristan? Are you out of your mind? Are you serious, Isolde?" And Isolde says, "Always consider the worst case scenario. You said it yourself, no?" I think he did, but I forget the context of when he said it. But he did say that, I do believe. And we see she says, What if this keeps up and the old Prince Tristan never comes back? What if he's ambushed by agents of Camelot and killed before realizing who he is?" And maybe he'd marry that other Isol too, huh? I bet you don't want to see that. Which is admittedly, like, I'll admit, the leaping to the immediate execution of the man does sound a bit crazy, but I do get why Isol reversed to this and why Kion reversed to this. It's clear that words aren't working. Words, connections, pictures, none of that's, well, they don't have pictures, they don't have, like, smartphones, but, like, words, connections, time, history together, it just doesn't really matter. Which is, what was I just talking about? My brain just farted so hard. Hold on. Let me hit the weight. Wait. Brain, they don't love you like I love you. Wait. What was I talking about? Oh, it was a low blow from Kion to go straight for the fake Isolde thing. Like, "Oh, what if you married her? Huh? You wouldn't like that either." But I don't blame them for just immediately leaping to executing the man, because they didn't really immediately leap to it. They've been trying to get this man for, I forget what the context is, but I think like a year. And he hasn't listened to reason. And he's only gotten more and more violent. So, like, if the only way they can think of getting him back is by executing him, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Personally, if this is going to sound bad, I'd go for the supposed innocent in this scenario, the fake Isolde. Once again, just assuming the win condition from last time is that the condition Tristan is in is tied directly to the condition that Isolde is in. And as long as she's alive, then Tantris will be alive. But if you kill that Isolde, then that gets rid of Tantris, because that's like a binding vow or like interlinked factor. Of course, that's right headcanon. That I have no evidence for. But still, could be interesting. But, thank you, Wait. Thank you, Brain. I do love you like I love you. Let's see. But ultimately, Kion, he even acknowledges that it's a low blow and turns when he hears Isolde say, "If Tristan loves her from the heart, then I would not mind that." And Kion's like, "What? I know you lying." And Isolde's like, "Kind of, sort of," as she says, "But that's not the man we know. The Prince Tristan I serve is the son of one of the legendary 7 deadly sins, and the Queen of Leonis." No one ever seems to talk about the poor Queen of Leonis. "And he's one of the 4 knights prophesied to save the world's future for us." Which is probably also why, like, that's the thing about prophecy. They're probably extra confident that they can't actually kill Tristan, because, like, he's prophesied to do something. And it's very, and, like, they don't know I mean, maybe they know. I forget if Lance told everybody about Guinevere. But, like, they don't know that fate is trying to be actively altered by Arthur. So they're probably assuming, like, ultimately, one way or another, it's going to end up with the knights winning. Because it's prophesized. And so far, not a single one of Bartra's prophecies has been wrong. But, with it being the case, we see Isil declare, unless we're prepared to kill him, if we have to, we'll never get him back. And if that happens, that's our fate as members of Team Tristan. Is it not? So ultimately, they're like, either he dies by our hand or he dies by somebody else's hand, so it might as well be by ours. And that's the only way we can bring it back. It's a real dark conclusion, but hey, I like it. I like what this does for both Isolde and Kion as characters. Showing how their devotion goes so deep, runs so deep, is so thick and juicy and scrumbly-umptious that they ultimately feel like they just flat out need to do it. It doesn't even matter that they have this moral reprehension about it. That since the mind of the body that they know is not there, they know they must slay the body. Or at least not know, but they are going to attempt to slay the body. Because that's all they can do. That's the only thing they can think of. They've tried everything else. And seeing these two characters who would do anything, they would lick mud off of Tristan's big toes if he'd order them to. Seeing them have to resort to such an extreme measure, all for the sake of their leader. Beautiful character writing, beautiful character conflict coming from these two characters in particular. Obviously, the Percy platoon is full of a whole bunch of Percy glaze as well, but the Tristan platoon has always been different with the levels of glaze coming from Isolde and Kion especially. So seeing them have to resort to this, I tell you, Nakaba can write some character conflict. That man, if only he wasn't weird. If only he wasn't weird sometimes. Oh, if he wasn't weird. But with it being the case, we see that Kion declares, "Oh, why? Why do I have to play such a terrible role? I'll get you for this, Jade." And hey, I like that. Once again, Jade is a character who, in my opinion, got done buku dirty. Like, that man was horrible. Like, the moment I started to like him, Nakama was like, perfect. You feel emotional connection somewhat? Bang! And then took his life for the character development. But I do like that the character development is sticking. The character development is the reason they ended up in Onfund. Like, ultimately, Jade's death isn't just a thing that happened, and they were like, oh, anyways, and it's kind of pushing. It is basically the current narrative driver for all intents and purposes. They would not be here if not for Jade's death. If he was still alive, they likely would have never ended up in Onfund, which would lead to a completely different plot than what we have now. So overall, I respect Nakama's determination to hold to this death, stick to it, and maintain it. That's good stuff. But we see that Kion, in a desperate plea, says, "Please, Prince Tristan, please open your eyes for us." And we see as Isolde cries tears and Anne sweats, Percy looks and is like, "I'm not sure that's who you think it is." And of course, the main man himself has to declare it, as he says, "I'll say it once again. My name is Tantris." And suddenly, speaking of the magical resistance of the Demon Clan, boom! A dark spear appears in the sky, tearing apart the spear of Gog Magog. And Kion's eyes shrink to pinpoints as the darkness crackles and fizzles and heals Tantris to his physical peak. And then Tantris says something interesting as wings of darkness spawn out of his back. "But now, I'm a little curious. I'd like to learn more about this Tristan." Demon Mark Tantris. So essentially, Demon Mark Tristan without the daddy issues. I'm intrigued. I'm impressed. I want to see how this goes down. Obviously, he's going to mock Kion. Like I said, I thought Kion was going to get backshots this chapter, but he ended up doing a whole lot better than I thought. I'll give him massive credit for that. But it's Demon Mark Tristan. Nothing else is going to work. Kion's getting backshots. It's undeniable. But still, it's interesting that probably through Kion's magical efforts, his consistent cries for Tristan, his determination to off Tantris, all that has reached Tantris subconsciously. He already subconsciously recognized these spells that he may have not even seen before, because I don't think they tried to fight him before. But ultimately, he understood that, respected that, and knew that knowledge. But on top of that, he wants to learn more about Tristan. Whatever spell's holding over him is breaking because they just keep reinforcing it. And seeing the crew's determination, specifically the Tristan platoon, the Tristan team's determination to get Tantris back, get Tristan back, to start to leak into his brain and cause him to want to learn more about this Tristan fella, that's real good stuff. And I can't wait to see how it all plays out. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave. Wait! Demon Mark Tristan. Like, wait, comma, Demon Mark Tristan in the comment section down below. I did thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, do have a page down below or use for me for as low as one, get a month, a month. And things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. So now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include the 19-minute live reaction to this very chapter. I have variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You can drop 5 beans for a short video, 20 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier, XZ, G Prosper, Planet Crone, Zeta, and Brandon Payne. Then I'd like to give a little thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, and A+A. And then I'd like to give a huge thank you to our Ink tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly, Euchiha, Yuki Ally, and Carlo Alaimo. Then I'd like to give a gargantuan thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give another gargantuan thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Overlord Zero, Waki Minoz, and Idem Okami. Then I'd like to give a final legendary top of the line thank you to our That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, the glorious king, Calvin Elder.